Now, I remember back in the 80s when I bought this bike in 1982, everybody said, what a beast this bike is. Well, because the bikes of that era, they hadn't invented a lot of things like traction control and ABS or anything. It was a beast. And this bike could really, really scare you. If you hadn't ridden anything this fast, you went to the dealer and took a test ride, which is exactly what I did. You went out on a highway and went through the gears. The first word that would come to your mind is, what a beast. Well, the problem is, in reality, as 43 years have gone by, it's been anything but a beast. It's been a well-behaved, I don't know what to even say, a well-behaved beast. What is always impressive to me is when a bike this powerful has great low end torque, and you can either go blasting through the gears, or in this case we go through some populated areas and you can just have a very nice, comfortable, slow cruise. Some funny stories is when I first bought this bike, I just thought I was going to be the king of everybody. And as happens when you're young, you know, my big goal was I wanted to have the fastest bike in my little circle of friends. I wanted to be a big fish in a little pond or a puddle or whatever. And I was. But you know, that doesn't last forever. They always come out with faster bikes or bigger bikes or this or that or whatever. But in the meantime, you have a couple of years of that. But because the bike is truly a beast, it's not a beast that only does one thing right. That's the whole point. Some of the bikes that are beasts nowadays do one thing right and everything else kind of not so much. And as the 43 years went by and the 80,000 miles, I came to appreciate other qualities of the beast. Beside going through the gears and beside getting your nose down in the instruments and holding the throttle wide open, there's a lot of qualities the beast had. Very sophisticated when you want to go for a nice, relaxing ride and you're not in the mood to put the law enforcement to the test. Well, it just couldn't be any better. And the bike actually does a couple of things real well I didn't expect. It gets really good mileage. It's easy. I mean, it's easy. It's super easy to maintain this bike. Even adjusting the valves is not anything like adjusting them with overhead cams and buckets and shims and buckets of parts and special tools. This is truly an old school bike. And actually, it's an old school beast. And the last time we visited Jim Skinner, the drag racer, he said, they still want this engine to make drag bikes out of. Just amazing. That in itself is beastly. makes this bike kind of special to me in my humble collection of 9 bikes. I have 2 of these. I have a parts bike, and what I try to do with this bike is maintain it, over-maintain it, whatever you want to say. I have 2 sets of wheels. I've tried several different types of tires on it. I like the Michelin Commanders. I've had the choice of having 2 different seats, a lower seat, a higher seat, that I prefer the one that comes stock with the bike. And the ergonomics of this bike fit me very, very well. The bars, people that have changed over to shorter bars notice sometimes that you have a front end wobble, because the stock bars are filled with lead, the last 3 inches of it. If you have ever taken a stock set of handlebars off the bike, you realize how heavy they are. Well, those counterbalance weights really do work. But there's a lot of things about the bike that are unique, that it may just make it fun to ride. It's just not a bike that you say, oh, I'm going to ride today, but at the end of the day, my shoulders are hurt or my knees or something. Or the bike, once you're moving 2 miles an hour, the bike feels like a 250. It's very nimble. And no matter what you say about that seat, and I have 2 separate seats, the stock seat that comes with the bike is absolutely one of the most comfortable seats in all of motorcycling. I have overdrive gearing, 1640, and a 530 chain conversion kit that I got from Vlad, and thank you very much. And that combined with the seat makes for some really smooth cruising when you're out on an open highway. A little thing that I like. It's a small thing, but I like it. I like analog instruments that I can see. When you're sitting on a bike, you don't have to bend your nose down, put your nose on a gas tank to see the instruments. And the stock mirrors. Still have the stock mirrors on the bike. And that 86 exhaust system, I love the little rumble it has over the stock one. I've had other exhausts on the bike, but I do like the 86 the best for this bike. A lot of my friends do have these bikes. Joe Padula has an exact copy of this bike, in fact, and so does Aaron. And, well, the nice thing about it is, and Joe and I have been able to swap parts, help diagnose each problems that he had with his fuel tank, and carburation. He had borrowed my spare set of carburetors. And when Aaron got his, I remember we went for a joint ride with the 2 GSs. They matched. They even were the same color. And we swapped bikes, and I got to see how his was. His had shorter handlebars on it, and it had a louder exhaust. I kind of liked mine better, but again, all in the eye of the beholder. The whole thing is in the eye of the beholder. But this bike, it gives you so many choices. Not only, and people think of this bike, they think of one thing. Whoa, that engine. Oh, what a beast. We'll go drag racing. Whatever. But there's more to it than that. And that's what I think about. It's not only it's a beast when that throttle is wide open, but there's so many other good qualities of the bike. And to me, when I think about it, that's what makes this bike very unique and very special. It's, again, I've said it before, it's just not a one-trick pony that does one thing and the rest of the day you're in pain and agony. This bike is a comfortable all-day cruiser when you want it to be, and when your friends pull up alongside you at a traffic light, it's a beast. When I'm home from any ride, the first thing goes through my mind is, wow, how many years has it been since I bought this bike? How the world has changed. Everything's changed around me. The whole world is different, but this bike is still the same. That engine is still the same. And they've got modern safety features on bikes now, and they've got bikes that cater to every need, every want, every specialized bike. But that all-purpose bike, they used to call it the UJM, Universal Japanese Motorcycle, a bike that's just fun to ride and just fun to pull up to a stoplight and do a burnout. There's just something about this bike. It brings you back in time. It's comfortable. It's fun to ride. It doesn't take you broke on maintenance. So many good things. And as a final thing, it constantly goes up in value and sought after by collectors. That is a pretty good combination. Now, if you're new to our channel, we have a very, very eclectic channel. One of the new features we have now is some of the videos are grouped into groups that you can access all the videos for one category in one mouse click. And it should be very convenient and very handy. Just check out the feature on the main screen playlist. And thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. We appreciate your support, and it makes this channel possible with all the things we do, the painting, the wheels, the polishing. And please take a second or two and hit the like button. And thanks everyone for watching.